Hi there. Thank you for tuning in to Grow Your Gifts. Today, I would like to talk about demystifying the maze of early childcare. So, many parents have asked me, what is my child really learning in early childcare? Um, I would love to go into that more detail. That will be a separate video. I think there's just so much information when it comes to early childcare, especially that 0 to 6 years old, basically. And it can be confusing and overwhelming, and you just want someone to lay it out, just generally, basically, what's the deal here? So that's what I'm going to do today. And you can use these resources anywhere you are in the world. I am pulling up Canadian, Ontario resources. I'll see if I can link the links in the description and the page numbers and everything. And I'm hoping that it'll just bring more clarity to early childcare and giving you sort of a developmental step-by-step and a really nice summary, according to the educators that are, drafting up these documents. I think they're really valuable, and I've gained a lot from them actually over the years. And I just want to preface this demystifying the maze of early childcare with a quote that was actually on my nighttime tea yesterday. They always have a little quote on the little piece of paper on the tea in the tea bag string thing. So the quote was, "The difference between a flower and a weed is a judgment." And the quote is by an unknown, it said. I think that's so interesting. Yeah, and how it applies to this video today, you can see that, maybe your child is a 3-year-old, but in some areas they're developing at a 4-year-old level, or other areas they're at a 2.5-year-old level. So I wouldn't get stuck on the numbers so much. It's really more about helping break down, everything scaffolding in order to learn all the skills that a 4-year-old has. Let's say you have to go step by step. So that everybody knows. So, when I just typed it in on the internet to give you the ages broadly that they give, infant is younger than 18 months. And toddler, so a year and a half. And toddler is a year and a half to 2.5 years. Junior preschool is 2.5 years to 4 years. And senior preschool is 5 years to 6 years. But what I actually prefer, especially with what the documents do as well, and if you have a child with special needs, you might be having to go from, infant preschool, different toddler stages and everything to see in which area, your child needs this skill before they can learn the next skill, that type of thing. So what I prefer is, and that's just my personal opinion, is for infants is 0 to 2 years old. And for toddlers is 14 months to 3 years old. And for preschool and kindergarten, it's 2.5 to 6 years old. And the first document I want to share with you is called the ELECT document. ELECT means Early Learning for Every Child Today. And the one I'm going to share is from University of Guelph. It's just the first one that pops up when I type it in, and the full document is there. But just to, again, make it so much easier for you, because if you read the whole thing, your head's going to be spinning if you're not familiar with this stuff. So just nice handy dandy chart they got going there. Page 25 is for infants, 0 to 2 years old, on the ELECT document. Page 33 is for toddlers, for 14 months to 3 years. Page 39 is for preschool and kindergarten, from 2.5 to 6 years. And they go over 5 domains. So the domains just means, areas of development: social, emotional, communication, language, and literacy is one, cognition, and physical. And then they break it down more, especially the physical is fine motor, gross motor, tactile, different things like that. But each, infant, toddler, preschool, and KG, they all have those 5 domains in Elect. Super duper handy, really helpful, I found, as a resource. So the other document I want to share is How Does Learning Happen? And Ontario has made this How Does Learning Happen ? I think it's like, it's ongoing lifelong learning. And, that's how it is for all of us. We only know as much as we can know given our current understanding. And, I'm learning new things every day, So it's How Does Learning Happen ? Ontario's Pedagogy for the Early Years. And pedagogy is just a fancy way of saying, this is how to teach or to learn. So pedagogical documentation is something we use a lot in early childcare setting. Try saying that 5 times really fast. Pedagogical documentation. That's a tongue twister. It took me a while to learn how to say. But there you go. It's basically recording, analyzing observations, photos, and data to gain insights on the child's learning and thinking. And therefore, you can discover the child's interests, strengths, and challenges. Oh, I think that's a train. All right. Hopefully you can't hear it with my mic. So yeah, it's really, really amazing. You think it's just taking a bunch of photos and watching what the child does, but no, once you tap into their interests and what their strengths are and what their challenges are, and you're communicating with the parents and everyone's working as a team, in my experience, magic happens. It's pretty awesome. And then you also have a visual, we're always taking photos as educators. So How Does Learning Happen document is on Ontario, Canada website. And I just want to draw your attention to a really nice page on there. Page 9 is the 4 foundations of How Does Learning Happen. So the 4 foundations of How Does Learning Happen are belonging, well-being, expression, and engagement. So again, these are just like the videos I've been doing so far. It's all foundational. You can work on math and reading as much as you want, but if you don't have that foundation, it makes everything so much harder. So that's why I'm just now doing more topics about actual childcare. It all connects, and I think it really is meaningful and helpful to go deeper. So yeah, the Elect principles are also in that document, How Does Learning Happen? And it just gives you a really nice summary on page 12. It's very self-explanatory, and you get a nice visual there too. On page 25 of How Does Learning Happen, there is a chart with the 4 foundations of learning, and that for me is gold. I even have used it for myself as well. Belonging, well-being, engagement, and expression, and it just gives you like a nice chart to refer to. And again, the idea here is to foster a safe and healthy environment to build a strong foundation for the love of learning. I mean, the children I've worked with, thousands and thousands, not to mention how many diapers I've changed. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's a very special time changing diapers, and I won't go into details, but it's about bonding and making them feel safe. And again, bringing that strong foundation of just safe and trusting environment over and over again for them, so that when they're in that learning environment, they're exploring, they're playing, they're trying different theories out and things like that. So I think I've seen monumental changes of exposing your child to a structured kind of learn. Like I've done Montessori, Reggio, Emilia, um, so many. I can't even. I've looked into Waldorf. Like I haven't actually had experience with that, but these are like that really excites me. Just learning about those kinds of early learning settings, and I think it can really impact you as an adult and really give you the self-regulation skills that you need. So how else it also really helps is developmentally appropriate step-by-step skill building, which we went over, self-help skills, monumental, self-regulation skills, as well as emotional self-regulation skills. I feel like saying the S letter a lot, and I'm going a lot, but oh well, there's a lot of S's in all of this. Socialization skills, learn through play, and that applies to all the domains of development: language, literacy, communication, cognition, physical, social, and emotional. Learning through play is just super duper for children under 6. Like it really, really helps them. Physical literacy. So I was a physical literacy site lead. I got to go to workshops. I got to help all the educators learn about, what basically the ABCs of moving your body, stability, different things. I'm definitely going to do a different video on that because it's not fresh in my mind, but I learned a lot about my personal development, of course, as well as physical literacy. It was amazing. And there's, fine motor and gross motor involved in there, and coordination, things like that, balance. And then also what they really learn is in these early childcare settings is kindness and appropriate consequences. There's no yelling, there's no violence, there's no hitting. Of course, we're teachers, we're educators, we are first and foremost professionals. And beyond that, though, most of us, I have found, are called to this field because we have a certain kindness about us, and you need that when you work with young children, of course. And I've been very lucky to, just be in centers where I've just been around extremely loving, caring educators, ECEs, ECAs, directors, assistant directors, everybody. Like, in my experience, they've all been so sweet and so nice. So I've been very lucky in that area. So yeah, I just wanted to give a little glimpse, and hopefully that helps as a reference to kind of go to. And I just want to come back to that quote to finish this video off. Yeah, the difference between a flower and a weed is a judgment. I like to say, even discernment. So you can use your judgment or your discernment to kind of take a closer look. For example, there's this like yellow kind of long flower weed looking thing, and it grows all along, the GO train track. That's what we use in the GTA, Greater Toronto Area, not Grand Theft Auto. GTA stands for Greater Toronto Area, where I'm from. And yeah, I later found out that was, well, I think it was mullein, Mullein, probably saying it wrong. Mullein, malign, mullein. And it can possibly help with things like ear infections, antimicrobial, bronchitis, asthma, antibacterial. Like, what? It just looks like a weed, and it's literally growing everywhere, and I see it all the time. But yeah, the difference between a flower and a weed is a judgment. So I think, I don't know how to say it in words, but that summarizes my feeling about early childcare, basically. And yeah, I hope this helps. Thank you again for tuning in. I wish you well. Thank you.